An old lead gets that text, they reply, AI handles the conversation, books the appointment, and sends a summary to the business owner. This system turns old, dead leads into new business. It handles the initial outreach, the back and forth conversation, getting them booked in, and then it'll send a summary of the interaction to the business. It's built for agencies and service businesses who are sitting on hundreds or thousands of old leads and past customers that they're not currently doing anything with. So the system's made up of 2 workflows. This is the first one. I'll just go over this really quickly and then we'll go into the second one. So what this workflow is doing is it's pulling all the leads off of the spreadsheet, limiting it to a certain number of them that we've not contacted yet. For example, it could be 50 or 100 per day that we want to contact. Then it's figuring out if we've got a mobile or a landline for them. And based off of that, we're either going to send them a text or an email. It then logs that text and email on a new spreadsheet. It then updates the original spreadsheet to say that we have contacted the lead now. And then this end bit of the workflow is to check if the lead has responded to it. And if they haven't within, say, a day or 2, then we can send them a follow-up. And now if that customer responds to that text or email, this agent is going to be handling the conversation as well as sending the summary to the business owner when the conversation is finished. So we can really split this into 2 agents. So this first one on the left is going to be handling the conversation. So what happens here, this gets called from a webhook from Twilio. So there's a webhook there that's pretty much waiting for a text message to be received. And it makes sure that it's from the same number that we sent it from originally. So on that other workflow, we sent the customer a text. And now we're just waiting to see if they respond. And if they do respond, it'll come down this flow here. And so in this start bit here, we are just taking some information from that webhook, like the number of the customer and the message body of the text, so what they actually said to us. And then after that, we're retrieving the first message that we sent to them, so we can then give it to this AI agent down here so it has all the context. And this if node is more for further on in the conversation. It just checks if the customer wants to reschedule an appointment, because if they want to reschedule an appointment, we have to find the ID of the appointment so that this agent can actually reschedule it. Because if we don't have the appointment ID, then the agent doesn't know which appointment to reschedule. But if it's just the start of the conversation, then it will come down the false branch and it will just conversate naturally. So now let's have a look at the booking agent. So it has access to the get availability tool, create event, and update the ID in the spreadsheet. So how this works is if a customer wants to book a meeting, it'll first get the availability, get the free slots from whichever calendar we connect here. It can then create the event in that calendar. It'll update the ID in the same spreadsheet as before, and then send the text message back to the customer. And it doesn't have to book an appointment to send the text message back. It can just use the AI to craft a response and move the conversation forward. And every outgoing message gets logged in that spreadsheet as well. So it becomes a log that you can audit and double check and get data from later on. And now every time that will come over to the summary agent, as you can see here. So we're going to go through this step by step. So firstly, it's going to get all the rows in the spreadsheet associated with that phone number, create a transcript from them. So we've got every single message in a big block of text, pass that into this sentiment analysis AI, which is going to determine whether it thinks the conversation is complete or if it's still in progress. All we're doing here is for each message that comes in, this is just going to check if this AI thinks the conversation is complete. And if it does, then it'll come down this branch, wait for an hour to see if any more messages come in. And if another message has come in, that means there'll be another execution on this workflow. So it'll just do nothing and wait for that to come through. And it'll check again, and when it is the final message in the thread, it'll create the summary. And the bottom of this workflow is for conversations that are either in progress or abandoned. So what it'll do is, if this AI determines the conversation's in progress, then it'll come down this branch and check if the last message was sent more than 6 hours ago. If it was, we can pretty safely assume the conversation's been abandoned, so we can say it's true and then create the summary. But if it was less than 6 hours ago, then there's a chance the customer might respond. So it'll come down this branch, wait for 6 hours, and then check the most recent message and see if that was more than 6 hours ago. And if it was, then it will create the summary. And if not, then it would just go through this process again. I was just editing this and I realized both of these outputs should also go into this flow here, just to make sure we're processing the last message in the conversation so we're not creating duplicate summaries. So that's what it looks like now. I've just ran all those outputs into this flow here before it creates the summary. And now all this summary agent is doing similar to before. It's getting all the rows in the sheet associated with that phone number. It's creating a transcript. It's giving it to this LLM to make a nice clean summary. And then all this if node is doing is checking if it's between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. because this could go on at any time and you don't want to be receiving a text at 3 a.m. saying you've got a summary. So this is the workflow for mobile, and I'll show you the one for email. I won't talk all the way through it, but it's very similar. I'll just point out the changes. So this is the one for email. The only real change is the trigger. So it's just going to be a Gmail trigger, and we're going to get the rows in the spreadsheet, check if the thread ID of the trigger is in the spreadsheet, and if it is, then it will kick off the workflow. And if it isn't, then that means it's just a random email. It could be anything, but if we've got the thread ID in our log spreadsheet, that means it's part of this lead regeneration campaign, and so it will kick off the workflow. Right, time to do a couple of examples. Right, I'll kick this workflow off that's going to send us that text and email. I've just pinned a couple of things to make it quicker, like the num-verify API lookup and the LLM responses. And I've also detached the follow-up sequence just because obviously we'll be responding straight away. So let's execute that. There's a look at the text it sent us. So, hi Tom, we discussed Google Ads for your business a while back, and I just wanted to check in and see how things are looking for you, and if you'd be up for a quick chat about it sometime, but completely understand if it's not on the cards just now. Let's just put, hi, yes, we've been thinking about this recently, and see what it says. There we go. Hi Tom, great to hear you've been thinking about it. Would you like to jump on a quick call to discuss how we can help? That's a pretty solid message in my opinion. Let's just say, yes, that sounds good. There we go, it sent some times back. Monday the 19th at 10 a.m, Tuesday the 20th at 2, Wednesday the 21st at 11. Let's go with Wednesday the 21st at 11. So let's say Wednesday at 11 and see if it gets it right. There we go, it says we're all booked in. Let's check the calendar. There we go, Wednesday at 11. Now, let's say we wanted to change this booking for whatever reason. Let's say, can we move that to 12 actually? Now let's watch the calendar. There we go, it's jumped to 12. There we go, now let's have a look at the summary agent. So it created a transcript. The AI deemed that the conversation was complete. It came down that branch, and now it's just creating the summary. There we go, it's done. Let's have a read of this. Customer, Tom, give me our mobile. Summary, Tom has expressed interest in discussing Google Ads for his business. He was initially contacted about this a while ago and has recently been considering it. He has agreed to a call which was initially scheduled for Wednesday the 21st at 11, but has since moved to 12 p.m. on the same day. The call is confirmed and will proceed as scheduled. There we go, that's pretty good for a business owner to get a quick snapshot of the conversation. And obviously at this point we can send that on text, email, we can log it on another spreadsheet, we can log it in a CRM, we can do anything with that after that. There's a look at the email it sent us. So it said, hi Tom, we spoke a little while back about your email marketing, and I just wanted to check in and see how things have been going since. If it's something you're still thinking about, I'd be happy to send a few ideas over that might help, no pressure at all. And if it's no longer a priority, that's completely fine too. So I've just put, hi there, yes, that sounds good. It is something we're looking to revisit. Thanks, Tom. So let's send that off. And it's replied, hi Tom, great to hear. Would you like me to send over some ideas by email, or would a quick call work better for you? So I've just put, a quick call sounds good. Let's send that off. So there we go. It's come back to us with some availability. Let's just check. That's one we booked in at Wednesday at 12. So let's go for, Monday at 10 for this one. And it's responded. Brilliant. That's booked in for Monday, 19th of January at 10. I'll give you a call then. Looking forward to it. And if we look at the calendar, Monday at 10 is booked in. And if we have a quick look at the lead regeneration logs for the email, as you can see, all the emails have been logged in and out. And you can see the appointment ID has also been logged as well, just in case we needed to move it around or anything like that. So I'm just going to respond with, that's great, thanks, and see what the summary agent comes back with. It came down here, created the transcript again, and created the summary. So let's have a look. Customer name, Tom. Customer's email, tom@sentinel.com. The summary, Tom has agreed to a follow-up call to discuss revisiting his email marketing strategy. A call has been scheduled for Monday, 19th of January at 10 a.m. No objections were raised. So that's everything. Both of these workflows will be available for download in the free school community, so you can try it for yourself. The link to that will be the first one in the comments. Other than that, thanks for watching.